Are your brackets busted? Ours sure are. Welcome to this week's edition of Eagle Sports Update. I'm Jillian Seach here with Al Woolman and Derek Maselli, and here are this week's top stories. We'll start with the gymnastics team, which for the second time in program history won the Mid-American Conference Championship over the weekend. With a final score of 196.425, the Eagles didn't just win the title, they did so in commanding fashion. Ball State the host school and second place finisher earned a 195.650. The score is also the second best in school history, dating back to January's Week of Records, which EMU broke a school record 3 times in almost a week. The Eagles set the pace in floor exercises and on beam. They broke a school record by scoring a 49.325 behind a 9.9 from Natalie Gervais and 9.875s from Katie Conrad, Lacey Rubin, and Kendall Valentin. For Conrad and Valentin, those are career records. The Eagles turned in a 48.825 on bars with a 9.9 from Valentin, a 9.8 from Conrad, and 9.75s from Gervais and Rubin. The Eagles also cleaned up in the awards categories as well. Rachel Slocum was named MAC Specialist of the Year, while Conrad, Gervais, Slocum, and Valentin all earned a spot on the all-tournament team. The team, which ranked 24th in the country, is off until April 2nd when it participates in the NCAA Regionals. The trip will be short for the Eagles, heading right down Washtenaw to the Chrysler Center in Ann Arbor. The meet is set to start at 6 p.m. All right, guys, so what do you think of that team?
Well, you know, winning the MAC is something I definitely saw this team doing, so it doesn't really come as a huge surprise to me. But the way they did it was, I think, what really blew my doors off. You know, breaking, second best score in a team history. And they're broken records all year long. That's a way to do it. If you're gonna, win a MAC championship, do it commandingly.
All right.
Yep.
After defeating St. Mary's in round 1 of the women's NIT, the Eagles were fouled in the second round by the Horned Frogs of Texas Christian University. The team fought valiantly to claw its way out of a disastrous deficit obtained early on in the game. TCU led 23-10 by the end of the first quarter and scored 3 straight buckets to start the second, extending its lead to 21 points. Eastern, however, would not whimper quietly in the offseason as the team cut the deficit to 21 points. With under 3 minutes to go in the fourth, that deficit was 10 as the Eagles trailed 80-70. Then Shanice Baldwin scored 6 points in a row, and lo and behold, the Eagles trailed by 4 with under a minute left. Alas, TCU was able to hang on and set Eastern back to Ypsilanti with an 85-81 loss. Baldwin led the team in scoring with 26 points. Shea Sweeney had 24, and Janae Morton picked up 20. So guys, obviously it's a loss, but what do you have to say about that game?
Well, I think you said it all in the story right there. A valiant effort nonetheless. And again, this was a team early on, they were expected to win the MAC. Actually, a lot of people projected them to win the MAC and be in the big dance this year. It didn't happen that way, but they were able to recover, and they had a thrilling victory against St. Mary's. And these are tough games on the road. They were in California for that, and then a couple days later they're in Texas. So it's tough because in the women's NIT, games take place at campus locations. So these are, for all practical purposes, road games. And to be down, they were down by, it was like 33-9 or something when I was checking the scores. They were down, I think we said, 21 points. To claw your way back into it, and they were within 4, I believe, nearing the end of the third, and then TCU, credit to them, was able to hang on. But it was a good game, and I think another good run. And this team will continue to improve. They will get there, I think, in another year or two. they will be that team we want. Baldwin has grown exponentially since she first started entering that rotation at the beginning of this season to now. She's scoring 26 points in a game, and she had, sort of, I think, a huge step in the right direction in the St. Mary's game as well. And
So kind of like what we talked about last time, we have a great base with the team, and it's just
Yes.
building off of that.
yes,
for
and
next
that's why I
season.
think playing in the postseason is great, because if you have the chance to play,
Do it.
because
Yeah.
otherwise maybe Baldwin doesn't get these opportunities.
Right.
Who knows?
All right. Now, we've mentioned on the show before that the golf programs here at Eastern are on the rise. We saw empirical evidence of this for the men's team over the weekend as they swung their way through a couple of school records during the Desert Shootout at the Palm Valley Golf Club in Goodyear, Arizona. The competition took place on a par 72 15-yard course where Coach Cunningham's team finished the final round 16 under 272 and recorded a 2-day of 839 compiled of a 284, 283 to 272. The final round mark was one stroke ahead of the previous record, 855, set back in 2002. The score was good enough to finish 5th place out of 20 teams. The team returns to action next Monday when they head to Little Rock, Arkansas. So,
Yeah. Well, like you said, we talked about women's golf last week. We talked about men's golf this week.
Sure.
Both teams are picking things up,
They are.
and setting records. Through a pretty long course. That's a pretty good way to do it.
Oh yeah. We can only say it so many times that there are teams here that are really struggling to sort of make their impact on the school. Again, a lot of attention goes to football and men's basketball, but these other programs are really coming along here. And so hopefully this news, brings some more interest into the team. And they do a lot of traveling as well. A lot of the, I guess you would call them smaller programs around here, do a lot of traveling. It's how you make money, or sometimes it even costs money to host events.
right.
So it's tough on them, but credit to them for being able to do it and do it well. Hopefully we're going to have Kyle Rhodes on the show sometime in the future. He may not remember me, but I remember him, and I had a class with him, so we're going to see if we can make that happen.
All right, well, we look forward to that. Last Wednesday, the softball team took on the number 2 ranked University of Michigan at Alumni Field in Ann Arbor. However, the Eagles were on the wrong end of a 14-1 loss to the Wolverines. Michigan scored in each of the first 4 innings and cruised behind a stellar performance from its starting pitcher, Sarah Jasinga, who went the distance, allowing 1 run on 2 hits while striking out 5. The Eagles then headed down to Charleston, South Carolina to take part in the College of Charleston tournament. After taking the first 2 games 4-1 against Brown University and 9-1 over Central Connecticut, they dropped the last 3, 9-1 versus UConn, 2-1 to the College of Charleston, and 8-1 against MAC foe Miami University. The Eagles fall to 9-14 and are playing number 22 ranked Notre Dame this afternoon. We'll talk about that game next week.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it last week. How
Growing pains, right?
Growing
Yeah,
pains,
growing pains.
yeah.
I think is the number
The
one
common
thing.
theme.
Yep, and against a team like Michigan, which you'll see them in the College World Series. I can almost guarantee you'll see them in the College World Series here in a few months. A 14-1 game that was shortened into 5 innings is about what you would expect for a team that's going through, the growing pains that Eastern is going through. But don't let that discount what Michigan's pitcher did. Complete game, 1 run. She was pitching lights out baseball or softball, excuse me. So that that's a team to look out for. And Eastern, I think, despite being down, in that game 14-1, they're playing Notre Dame this afternoon. It's about what they can do against these teams and what they can build off of, I think. And that might see, in the conference, when that season rolls around here in the next few days, definitely a lot more toughness in that competition level will help, once even the playing field when conference play rolls around.
Yeah. Again, I mean, travel is tough, but it is a little concerning, I think, to see the 8-1 loss to Miami University, seeing as that's supposed to be a more comparable school. You don't expect going in to defeat Michigan without it making news, or to defeat Notre Dame without it making news. But again, still early, still plenty of time. I think they'll bring things around.
All right, so just looking forward to the rest of the season and seeing what they can do.
Absolutely.
All right. 4 EMU wrestlers competed in the NCAA championships over the weekend at Madison Square Garden in New York City. Only one, Nicholas Barber, made it to the second day of the 3-day tournament before being pinned at 6:03 by Patricia Lugo of Edinburgh University at 149 pounds. Dakota Juarez, Anthony Abro, and Gage Hutchinson were all eliminated on day 1. That ends the season for the Eagles, who are set to lose only Abro from what is clearly a talented core of grapplers. Again, struggling team, but
they were, I wouldn't call them struggling. I think they, flirted with national rankings all season. And to end up where they were, sending, 4 wrestlers to the NCAA championships.
I think was it 3?
It was 4.
Was it 4?
Abro, Hutchinson, and Juarez
is 3.
Is 3 to go with. Day 2. So I think it's one of those things that you're only losing Abro, who's a redshirt senior. And you've got a good core group.
Abro is one of their stronger wrestlers, though. But again, you're right. They've dealt with a lot of injury this season as well.
Yep, they were down a couple of guys early this season who missed most of the year. And so I think it's one of those things that to build off of that, the sky's the limit. I think for next year.
All right, so again, room for improvement. That's another common theme we always seem to talk about here.
Being so close.
Yeah.
Yep.
So close.
All right, we'll be right back with our special guest, EMU volleyball player and ETV's very own Devin Murray, who has a special segment that she's going to talk with us about.
So I typically would describe Meals on Wheels in 3 words: support. What I mean by support is having somebody there every day you can count on, who's going to be there with a smile and a hot meal for you.
First, I would say that I would be with them if I could, delivering for the people.
Observant?
That's a tough one. I would say, well, more than a meal. I guess that's 4, but close enough.
It's helpful. I mean, just the fact that somebody's doing something for you should make you feel better.
Abundance.
Fulfilling is probably the main top one.
They're good.
I think that we are a compassionate organization.
I think it's great. I give it thumbs up.
It keeps us independent.
Yes.
It's the easiest, most fulfilling job I've ever had.
It keeps us independent so we don't have to depend on anybody.
Independence.
Caring and steady and present, like we're present for these people, every day.
Joyful, brings a lot of peace and a lot of happiness to you at the end of the day.
Sharing.
Caring, responsible.
I think vital to the community.
3 words? I think it's great, actually. Not trying to steal from Tony the Tiger, but yeah, it's great.
It teaches you portion control.
Loving the community that they work in, trying to make the community better.
Helpfulness.
Actually, it's fun. Believe it or not, it's really fun and fulfilling to be doing this type of thing.
Patience.
It pulls at your heartstrings, it does. And it doesn't matter whether you're out en route delivering meals or you're in the office on the phone.
Reliable.
Hope. So people feel like they have hope, that they can stay in their home for as long as possible. I think all of us want to be where we're feeling most comfortable.
Hidden, because we don't advertise. You know about the program, yet you don't think about the program. I think we're out there helping people more than a lot of people even know, so I think it's a very helpful program. I think it's a much needed program that there's a lot of people in our community who just really could use a program like Meals on Wheels that maybe don't even realize that it's there for them.
And we're back with EMU volleyball player and ETV's very own Devin Murray, who produced a segment called Not Just an Athlete here for ETV. So Devin, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Not a problem. So, I had a chance to watch the segment before, obviously we're going to run it here in a few minutes. But I had a chance to see it before, and it was a really interesting segment. What got you interested in wanting to do that in the first place?
Well, I knew I wanted to start a show that kind of went behind the scenes with athletes. That way I could give them a voice to talk about, that we're not just athletes, that we learn things that'll help us with the future, and just to kind of show people the hard work that really goes into being a student athlete.
Sure. Now, I know there was a hashtag on Twitter about it a couple months ago. I think it was Megan Trapp that kind of really got the ball rolling with that here at Eastern, a soccer player. So did that really play a part in your wanting to do that too?
Yeah, so I knew, like I said, I wanted to start a show, and when thinking of a title, I'm in SAC 2, and Julia Lombardi came up with it, and it's hashtag More Than a Sport. And that went viral on Twitter. It started here at EMU, and so many other schools caught on to it. And I was like, this is great, because everyone was tweeting, what more than a sport means to them, learning discipline, qualities like that you don't think about when that athletes learn. So that definitely inspired me. I was like, we should just turn this into a show, not just a Twitter hashtag.
Sure, that's very cool, very cool. And have you, heard about it from maybe some of your fellow athletes who might have heard about you doing it before?
Yeah. It definitely, all the athletes tweeted about it, and I've been kind of getting word out there that I'm doing a series on it, and I've texted quite a bit of the athletes, and they're all down to do it, so
cool.
I'm excited to get different people, not just the big sports, but go behind the scenes with golf, tennis, even band people, band members, just everybody.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Very cool. And I know with this one you've got Trent Perry from the basketball team, right?
Yeah, that's the first one, Trent Perry. I think I'm gonna have the gymnast next week, so look forward to that.
All right, very cool. Well, without further ado, here we go with More Than Just a Sport.
Hey guys, I'm Devin Murray, and today I will be going behind the scenes with the men's basketball team to show you why basketball is more than a sport. Today I bring to you EMU basketball player Trenton Perry, one of the select few who defied the odds. There are nearly 8 million students participating in high school athletics, but only 460,000 of them will compete at NCAA schools. When it comes to the game of basketball, only 3.4% of high school athletes will play at the collegiate level. It takes hard work, dedication, and discipline to play at this level, and not everyone has these qualities. Trenton Perry joined the Eagles as a walk-on and is now a redshirt sophomore with a scholarship. His hard work both on and off the court has earned him the privilege of becoming team captain. Perry's love for basketball began when he was just a toddler, running around in diapers and dunking basketballs into Little Tykes hoops. He started to play on an organized, competitive basketball team when he was in 2nd grade. Trenton is originally from Franklin, Tennessee, so picking up his bags and coming to Michigan was not an easy decision. After meeting the coaching staff and touring the facilities, he knew Eastern would be the best fit for him to grow as a person and player. Being a Division I athlete is a balancing act. Perry spends about 4 to 5 hours a day doing basketball-related activities, whether that's practice, getting extra shots up, or watching film. On top of the hours spent in the gym, he spends another 3 to 4 hours working on schoolwork to maintain his 3.2 GPA. In his precious free time, Trenton likes to play video games, such as Super Smash Bros., Call of Duty, and NBA 2K16. He is also a huge movie buff, watching movies every other day, if not every day. Perry doesn't plan on shooting his final hoop anytime soon. Playing overseas or in the NBA is what motivates him to get better every single day. Eventually, he aspires to be a coach so he can continue and spread his love of the game. All right, Trent, so first of all, talk to me about all the time and work that led up to you becoming a Division I athlete.
A lot of hours in the gym. A lot of credit to that goes to my trainers in Tennessee. I met this guy named Spencer Richardson, who is the CEO of this thing called All Around Game. He brings together a lot of the best Middle Tennessee athletes and trains them up. Names like Brandon Wright, who's in the NBA now, and Asa Duval, who goes to Lipscomb University. He coaches up all these kids, and I was blessed to meet him my 8th grade year. And I really didn't have an identity until I met him. So you got to give credit where credit's due. And,
yeah.
Until I met him, I didn't really have a game. So he gave me a game, and working with him hour after hour, and my dad kind of pushing me, to get up and get in the gym and everything. It takes a lot of hard work. So, blessed to have met them and to get them to help me get
Yeah, that's awesome. Talk to me about the type of community service you guys do.
Oh, we do a lot. We have this, our coach, Rob Murphy, actually has his own Rob Murphy Foundation. And it's really geared towards Bagley Elementary, where he used to go there as a student, and he used to teach there. And we've gone to Bagley on several occasions just to talk to the kids, read to the kids, play with them, board games, play basketball with them, show them the kind of drills we do and everything. And so that's really fun to do. That's out in Detroit, so we make our trips out to there and sign posters for them and everything. And they're really excited to see us, when we go in there. So that makes you feel really good.
Yeah.
And then we've gone to the Boys and Girls Club several times. This Christmas break we went there, and they had a little like Christmas show type thing where these I think it was about 5 girls in Santa hats. They did the Mariah Carey All Over Christmas Is You. They performed that, so that was really cool. And we're just playing board games with them, foosball and everything. And it's just a really good time to give back. And me as a student athlete, I think that's very important to do because we know that kids look up to us, as role models. So that's really important to give back. And whenever we have a chance to do it, we love to do it.
What does more than a sport mean to you?
A lot of people look at student athletes like we're just basketball players, we're just soccer players, we're just volleyball players. And to me, I even tweeted this on our social media blast day. It's given me a sense of responsibility, discipline, and through the qualities I've learned through basketball, I feel very confident in myself that moving forward after college, I'll be successful in life because of how basketball has shaped me as a man and what it's taught me. So I'm very thankful for basketball. I'm very blessed to be a basketball player, and to me, it's definitely more than a sport.
Well, thank you, Trenton.
Thank you very much. More than a sport.
That'll do it for this week's show. Thanks for watching, and for Derek Maselli and Jillian Seach, I'm Al Willman. Thank you for watching. Next week we'll find out how the gymnastics team did at the NCAA Regionals. And thank you, Devin, for coming on. Stay tuned and stay classy, Ypsilanti.